Playing from Jitterbug Smart 3.
Stupid thing. Megalopolitan Maniac. Imagine having nothing on your hands but your destiny. You sit on the doorstep of your mother's womb and you kill time, or time kills you. You sit there chanting the doxology of things beyond your grasp. Outside. Forever outside. The city is loveliest when the sweet death racket begins. Her own life lived in defiance of nature, her electricity, her Frigidaires, her soundproof walls. Box within box, she rears her dry walls, the glint of lacquered nails, the plumes that wave across the corrugated sky. Here in the coffin depths grow the everlasting flowers sent by telegraph. In the vaults below the riverbed, the gold ingots, a desert glittering with mica and the telephone loudly ringing. In the early evening, when death rattles the spine, the crowd moves compact, elbow to elbow, each member of the great herd driven by loneliness, breast to breast toward the wall of self, frustrate, isolate, sardine upon sardine, all seeking the universal can opener. In the early evening, when the crowd is sprinkled with electricity, the whole city gets up on its hind legs and crashes the gates. In the stampede, the abstract man falls apart, gray with self, spinning in the gutter of his deep loneliness. One name branded deep, one identity. Everyone pretends not to know, not to remember anymore, but the name is branded deep, as deep within as the farthest star without. Filling all space and time, creating infinite loneliness, this name expands and becomes what it always was and always will be. God. In the herd, moving with silent feet, in the stampede, wilder than the greatest panic, is God. God burning like a star in the firmament of the human consciousness. God of the buffaloes. God of the reindeer. Man's God. God. Never more God than in the godless crowd. Never more God than in the early evening stampede when the spine rattling with death telegraphs the song of love through all the neurons, and from every shop on Broadway the radio answers with megaphone and pickup with amplifiers and hookups. Never more loneliness than in the teeming crowd, the lonely man of the city surrounded by his inventions, the lost seeker drowning in the common identity. Out of desperate lonely love-lack is built the last stronghold, the webbed citadel of God, formed after the labyrinth. From this last refuge, no escape except heavenward. From here we fly home, marking the strange ether channels. Done with his underground life, the worm takes on wings, bereft of sight, hearing, smell, taste. He dives straight into the unknown, away, away, anywhere out of the world. Saturn, Neptune, Vega, no matter where or whither, but away, away from the earth. Up there in the blue with firecrackers sputtering in his asshole, the angel worm goes daft. He drinks and eats upside down. He sleeps upside down. He screws upside down. At the maximum vitesse, his body is lighter than air. At the maximum tempo, there's nothing but the spontaneous combustion of dream. Alone in the blue, he wings on toward God with purring dynamos. The last flight, the last dream of birth before the bag is punctured. Where now is he who out of endless nightmares struggled up toward the light? Who is he that stands on the surface of the earth with lungs collapsing, a knife between his teeth, his eyes bursting? Vulcanized by sorrow and agony, he stands aghast in the swift, corruptive flux of the upper world. With blood-soaked eyes, how glorious it is to behold the world. How bright and gory the empire of man. Man! Look there, he is rolling along on his little sledge, his legs amputated, his eyes blown out. Can't you hear him playing? He is playing the song of love as he rolls along on his little sledge. In the coffee house, alone with his dreams and a revolver under his heart, sits another man, a man who is sick with love. All the clients have gone, save a skeleton with a hat on. The man is alone with his loneliness. The revolver is silent. Beside him is a dog and a bone, and the dog has no use for the bone. The dog is lonely too. Through the window the sun streams in. It shines with a ghastly brilliance on the green skull of the lovelorn. The sun is rotting with ghastly brilliance. So beautiful, the winter of life, with the sun rotting away and the angels flying heavenward with firecrackers up their ass. Softly and meditatively we march through the streets. The gymnasiums are open and one can see the new men made of stovepipes and cylinders, moving according to chart and diagram. The new men who will never wear out because the parts can always be replaced. New men without eyes, nose, ears, or mouth. Men with ball bearings in their joints and skates on their feet. Men immune to riots and revolutions. How gay and crowded the streets are. On a cellar door stands Jack the Ripper swinging an axe. The priest is mounting the scaffold, an erection bursting his fly. The notaries pass with their bulging portfolios. The klaxons going full blast. Men are delirious in their newfound freedom. A perpetual seance with megaphones and ticker tape. Men with no arms dictating to wax cylinders, factories going night and day, turning out more sausages, more pretzels, more buttons, more bayonets, more coke, more laudanum, more sharp-edged axes, more automatic pistols. I can think of no lovelier day than this in the full bloom of the 20th century, with the sun rotting away and a man on a little sledge blowing the song of love through his piccolo. This day shines in my heart with such a ghastly brilliance that even if I were the saddest man in the world, I should not want to leave the earth. What a magnificent evacuation, this last flight heavenward from the holy citadel. Looking downward, the earth seems soft and lovely again, the earth denuded of man. Unspeakably soft and lovely, this earth bereft of man. Rid of god hunters, rid of her whoring progeny. The mother of all living wheels her way again with grace and dignity. The earth knows no God, no charity, no love. The earth is a womb which creates and destroys. And man is not of the earth, but of God. To God then let him go, naked, broken, corrupt, divided, lonelier than the deepest gulch. Today, yet a little while progress and invention keep me company as I march toward the mountaintop. Tomorrow every world city will fall. Tomorrow every civilized being on earth will die of poison and steel. But today you can still bathe me in God's wonderful love lyrics. Today it is still chamber music, dream, hallucination. The last 5 minutes, a dream, a fugue without a coda. Every note rotting away like dead meat on the hooks, a gangrene in which the melody is drowned by its own suppurating stench. Once the organism feels death within its grasp, it shudders with rapture, a quickening which mounts to triumphant agony, the agony of the death rattle, when food and sex are one. The whirlpool, and everything that is sucked into it going down with it. The wild, unknowing savage who began at the circumference in pursuit of his tail, drawing in closer and closer in great labyrinthine spirals, and now reaching the dead center where he whirls on the pivot of self with an incandescence that sends a blinding flood of light through every gutter of the soul, spinning there insane and insatiate. The ghoul and gouger of his soul, spinning in centrifugal lust and fury until he sputters out through the hole in the center of him, going down like a gas bag vault, cellar, ribs, skin, blood, tissue, mind, and heart all consumed, devoured, blottoed in final annihilation. This is the city, and this is the music. Out of the little black boxes and unending river of romance in which the crocodiles weep, all walking toward the mountaintop, all in step. From the powerhouse above, God floods the street with music. It is God who turns the music on every evening just as we quit work. To some of us is given a crust of bread, to others a Rolls Royce. All moving toward the exits, the stale bread locked in the garbage cans. What is it that keeps our feet in unison as we move toward the shining mountaintop? It is the song of love which was heard in the manger by the 3 wise men from the east. A man without legs, his eyes blown out, was playing it on the piccolo as he rolled through the street of the holy city on his little sledge. It is this song of love which now pours out of millions of little black boxes at the precise chronological moment, so that even our little brown brothers in the Philippines can hear it. It is this beautiful song of love which gives us the strength to build the tallest buildings, to launch the biggest battleships, to spin the wildest rivers. It is this song which gives us the courage to kill millions of men at once by just pressing a button. This song which gives us the energy to plunder the earth and lay everything bare. Walking toward the mountaintop, I study the rigid outlines of your buildings, which tomorrow will crumple and collapse in smoke. I study your peace programs, which will end in a hail of bullets. I study your glittering shop windows crammed with inventions for which tomorrow there will be no use. I study your worn faces hacked with toil, your broken arches, your fallen stomachs. I study you individually and in the swarm, and how you stink, all of you. You stink like God in his all-merciful love and wisdom, God the man-eater, God the shark swimming with his parasites. It is God, let us not forget, who turns the radio on each evening. It is God who floods our eyes with shining, brimming light. Soon we will be with him, folded in his bosom, gathered up in bliss and eternity, even with the word equal before the law. This is coming about through love, a love so great that beside it the mightiest dynamo was but a mosquito buzzing. And now I take leave of you in your holy citadel. I go now to sit on the mountaintop, to wait another 10,000 years while you struggle up toward the light. I wish just for this evening that you would dim the lights, that you would muffle the loudspeakers. This evening I would like to meditate a bit in peace and quiet. I would like to forget for a little while that you are swarming around in your 5 and 10 cent honeycomb. Tomorrow you may bring about the destruction of your world. Tomorrow you may sing in paradise above the smoking ruins of your world cities. But tonight I would like to think of one man, a lone individual, a man without name or country, a man whom I respect because he has absolutely nothing in common with you. Myself. Tonight I shall meditate upon that which I am.